class. Um, for this last discussion, I want to talk to you about George Marston's work, The Outrageous Idea of Christian Scholarship, and its implications on modern academia today. Um, for the most part, throughout the book, the common theme um, in Marston's work is the idea that Christian scholarship is underrepresented in today's um, classrooms or modern day academia. Um, when looking at academics from a holistic viewpoint, um, one can see that uh, Christian scholarship is indeed underrepresented in the classrooms. Um, Marston's The Outrageous Idea of Christian Scholarship, published in 1997, um, he goes into detail discussing how uh, Christian scholarship should be intertwined in not only a private institution or in those private sectors, but as well in the public sector. However, most of academia uh, is, when looking at those primary sources, most academia is derivative of a Christian perspective. However, secular viewpoints are becoming the new norm in mainstream academia today. One of the articles I found discussing concerning this week's topic, written by David Kim, uh, is in his article. He talks about it's entitled "The Sacred Secular Divide in the Christian Worldview," and he says that the commonly held viewpoint is that the sacred and secular worlds are separate and distinct. And when we look at mainstream academia today, that tends to be the norm, the normal thinking, that on one hand we keep the Christian worldview separate from that of a liberal viewpoint concerning academics. However, Marston says that he goes into conversation discussing that there should be Christian worldview brought into discussion in the classrooms today. Christianity must not only be relegated to private institutions, but there should be ample opportunity for the Christian worldview to be implemented in both the public and private sectors. And Christianity and that worldview should have a place at the table within academic discussions. When looking at primary evidence back to the founding of the country, higher education was founded upon Christian principles and Christian values. The schools, um, the schools were derivative of Christian morals, Christian values. The students were expected to study the scriptures, and not only that, but our founders relied on a Christian worldview to lead their studies and to lead the founding of the nation. Um, just as Marston advocates in his book, Christian scholarship must find its place in modern day academia. Um, Oftentimes, when looking at the classroom of today, we see a liberal, most often liberal viewpoint being brought to the table, where Christian worldview is not accepted, is often pushed to the wayside. In my own experiences, in the public sector of higher education, a Christian worldview is not welcomed. Oftentimes, the Christian worldview is ridiculed. However, after looking at and after studying Marston's work throughout this semester, it is evident that as a teacher, as a professor, I must be more. I must advocate for that Christian worldview to be brought forth in my teaching. Um, when looking looking back at the U.S. history courses that I've taught at a local institution in the past, very little did I bring in that Christian worldview. But now, after looking at Marston's work, looking at how that connects with past principles of Christianity and Christianity's place in academia, I have to be ever vigilant to bring in those Christian worldviews going forward in the classroom, highlighting how Christianity does have a place in history and in America's foundings and America's roots. And then the other article that I looked at this week concerning the topic was written by Roy Battenhouse, and in his article he talks about how liberals have proceeded to scuttle Christian theology and a biblical world in the midst of modern day academia. Again, reiterating that a Christian worldview is a least accepted point of view in modern day academia. As Christians, as Christian scholars, we must be ever vigilant and be prominent in pushing for that worldview to be brought out and to advocate for Christianity's place at the table in modern academic discussions. Again, thank you for your discussions this semester. I've enjoyed watching each and every one that I view, and thank you for watching my discussions, and I look forward to viewing yours this week. Have a great week.